Tomahawk. I'm Mike. Matt's up top. Justin's on the bottom. Before we even get into it today, do us a favor. Hit subscribe, give us a like, and start a comment about the last two games from the Hawks in the comment section versus Dallas. A lot to talk about from the first game. Not really much to talk about from the second game. To get right into it, the Hawks won first game versus Dallas. They lost the second one. There isn't much to talk about from the second game because, to be honest with you, it was a piss poor effort from the top of the lineup all the way down to the goalie. Lankinen gave up some goals that I thought should have been saved. I don't think that he was into it, to be honest with you. I think Zadorov is becoming more of a liability than an asset at this point. Kirby Dach is still having pain in his wrist, and if he's playing with pain, and if he re-aggravates his injury, I think that's going to be sending. I think it's sending the wrong message to him, and the Hawks as wanting to be going in a youth movement. Patrick Kane, he played fine, but there really wasn't much to talk about except for really Vinny Hinostroza. He gave a top line effort in both outings. He set up Kubalik for a goal in the first game and for a goal in the second game. And I think I'll be honest with you, it seems like he's got pretty good chemistry with Kubalik, and we can get into that, guys. But anyways, I don't know if there's a no pull the goalie policy this year with the Hawks, but it gets to a point where I think that they need to start pulling the goalie and giving the guy an opportunity. What do you guys think? Start with you, Matt.
Yeah, I just don't know what kind of team the Hawks want to be. The first game, I'm like, hey, maybe they want this playoffs, and then tonight it's like, okay, maybe they don't. But
Bowman's like, yes.
Yeah, you get into it, and then you look forward to tonight's game, and it's like, geez, I should have just watched something with my wife, and no thank you.
That sounds bad. Go ahead, Justin.
Yeah. It's I like I was telling you guys earlier, I don't want to be like the pessimist, but I feel like this season it's been. I feel like they've been kind of punching above their weight class. Like they've been doing really well for the first half of the season. It was really exciting. I think they're starting to regress a little bit, come back down to that, their mean. I feel like this is closer to maybe where people thought they would be, kind of maybe fighting for that fourth playoff spot. I know, like I was saying earlier, you guys can mark it down. I will happily eat crow if I'm wrong, but Thursday, April 8th, 2021, I would be willing to wager that they do not get back into that fourth playoff spot for the rest of the year. That's my prediction. Who the hell am I?
Agree.
I don't know.
I agree.
I could be totally wrong. I'm a nobody, but I think Matt was kind of saying it's like you see that first game, it's like, oh, maybe there's something here. And then you watch tonight and it's like, what the hell did I watch? Like, and I get it. You're going to have off nights. I mean, that happens, but it was just kind of a cluster across the board. I feel like it's just going to be them maybe having ups and downs, fighting for it. But I think as the season goes on, these last few weeks or last month and a half or so, you're going to see them fall a little bit more. I could see Columbus passing them and maybe they fall to like that sixth spot in the division. Maybe that's where I'm at with it though.
And Nashville keeps winning.
Yeah, they won tonight. So
yeah,
no,
they turned it around too.
It's funny. I hate every single team that you just mentioned. Now, I think Zadorov, to be honest with you, stands out to me as somebody that shouldn't be on the roster. To be honest with you, if we need somebody to hit people, I think that we can find somebody else for cheaper. And especially when you have guys like Bowden and Mitchell, toiling in the taxi squad where they could be getting valuable experience right now. And like you said, Matt, I'm going to double down on that. What is this team supposed to be? Are they trying to make the playoffs or are they trying to tank? Either way, they should have Mitchell or Bowden, both one or both of them getting experience right now. I don't think Dehaan. I think Dehaan has been playing pretty good. I just think that he's kind of left out to dry a little bit because of his playing partner. When it comes
Who
to,
was he with tonight?
I didn't even notice who he was with tonight, to be honest
Yeah.
with you.
I
Yeah, I
noticed
couldn't tell
Murphy.
you.
I thought I
Fedorov.
thought I saw Bolquist with him a little bit, but I'm not.
He looked okay.
Yeah,
First period, he looked okay.
yeah, he looked all right. Average. But I'd like to see less of him and more of the two other guys. I've mentioned it before. I have to double down on it, just because they should be getting the experience right now. As far as some bright spots, I think DeBrincat has finally fully gotten out of his funk that he was in last year, and I think that he's a top six, definitely a top flight top six winger. I believe he's fourth in scoring in the league in goals this year, and he's been playing really well, and he's been giving maximum effort on both sides of the puck. Going forward, and where they are, I know you guys think that they could be dropping down, and I think that they could be projecting up or down depending on who's in the roster. Where do you think Bowman is going forward? We'll go with you, Justin.
Yeah, I feel like I've never been the biggest Bowman guy, just because I grew up watching Dale Talon, and I feel like he kind of had his handprints or his fingerprints on that first Cup team and kind of drafting a lot of these guys. But
Yeah, he did.
I could totally see Bowman kind of going into like not a fire sale. That's the wrong way to put it. But I could see him kind of saying, all right, I got $20 million in cap space because a long-time IR. I was looking at that earlier today. I could see him taking on more bad contracts like he did kind of today with, I think it was Brett Conley, who up and down. He had a good season, I think 2 or 3 years ago. And I think he's like 3 million, something like that. So I could see them taking some more bad contracts, trying to get more picks. That one guy they picked up from Florida today, that Henrik Borgstrom,
Right.
It sounds like he's the guy that they were going after, because he's an RFA, I believe, after this year. He was undrafted. He's been playing over in Finland this season for HIFK, which I've heard of before. I don't know how good they are now. And he was playing in the minor in AHL last year, but like he's put up good numbers for the Euro League. He's putting up good numbers in the AHL. He was awesome at the University of Denver when he played NCAA. I think he was the main guy, because I know they got Riley Stillman too, who
Right.
he looks like he might be more of a third line, fourth line guy if he makes the roster at some point. But I could just see Bowman saying, all right, we're not in this. Even if they did get the fourth seed, they're either going to play Carolina or Tampa. And to be honest, they're going to get smoked. Right. So, I mean, if you know that going in, so you might as well stock up. If you end up lower, you get a better draft pick. I mean, I feel like, that's not necessarily it's hard to say that as a fan. You want them to win, but realistically, that's what I would do. And I have a feeling Bowman would probably go that route. I think today's trades he made today was a perfect example of taking on bad money, taking some draft picks and some good prospects and building for the future.
Really quickly, do you think that maybe the players noticed that as well?
I think so. I mean, it could be. I feel like you're kind of in a catch-22, right? If you play pretty well and you play well enough, you might be earning your spot onto a playoff team. I mean, those guys that they traded today, was it Linus, Lucas Carlson?
Walmart,
yeah, right? Walmart. Thank you. Like those guys just played themselves onto a cup contender, right? So I mean,
I don't know how. I haven't seen Walmart in months.
No, yeah, they're just taxi squad guys.
Yeah, that's why I was so surprised, right? But I feel like maybe there's a little push there. It's like, hey, if you play well enough, maybe, obviously not the core guys, but we'll trade you. We'll get some picks and some prospects for you. I suppose it's a possibility that it kind of pushes them to play a little bit differently.
What do you think, Matt? What Bowman is looking to do?
I think he's going to stockpile on young talent. Like just said, they're probably going to have to take on a bad contract to get a good prospect. Kind of like what we did with Teuvo and Bickle years ago.
Mm-hmm.
We had to get rid of a really good player just to get rid of that contract, just to keep our team under the cap. So
yeah,
that's what I think they're going to do.
Yeah, I think that's pretty extreme. The Bickle and Teuvo type of.
Yeah,
I couldn't believe that.
Can you imagine
when that
if he was still with us? He would probably be our number 2 center or whatever. Even
I
a
don't know,
winger.
man. I've never been big on the guy. He's been He's
a little.
seemed flashy, but
soft
he's small. He's small, and that's about
They
it.
like
Dude.
him there.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they do.
They paid him.
Yeah,
They do.
He fits in. He fits in with their thing. But we've got about 4 Tevas already, So it's like how many more of these guys can we get,
I'm okay with him, taking bad contracts on, but if Taves comes back, we're gonna be like
that's
right
10
back
million
up to the
that's
cap.
10 million off, so we got 10 minutes.
That's-
10
You
million in
got to
cap
be
space.
careful. You can't be taking ridiculous ones. Like
That's-
this
I
guy's
think
kind of
that's-
pushing it.
I think I'm glad you brought that up, Matt. I think if you see Bowman take on like a decent sized contract, I think that's going to be a dead giveaway that Taves is not coming back this season, right? I mean, because like you said, otherwise, what do you do? Because all this free cap space is all based on long time IR. Like they have, here's who they got on long time IR. They got Taves is 10 million or 10.5. Seabrook is 6.875. I know technically he's retired, but can't say that. Shaw is 3.9.
Right.
Smith is 3.25. And then Nylander is almost $1 million. So that's where that 25 million is coming from. 25 million. Like if you take too much back, that just assumes none of those guys are coming back then this season, right? So I don't know.
I believe Nylander's done for the season. He's not coming back.
Yes, you are correct. And I think Zach Smith might be too, right? Does that sound?
Yeah, I think he's having big troubles too. And Shaw's not coming back this year.
No.
To be honest with you, I think Shaw might be done. He might be retiring. And for his sake, I hope that he does, because I don't think he's got anything to prove. And and he's made his mark in the league.
You don't want to mess around with that when you get into multiple concussions like that. You don't want to. It's not like Crawford. It's like at what point is it not worth it?
Just gonna say Yep.
Yeah, and I think what's his name? Shaw got married, I think, a year or two ago or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Crawford just had. I think he's got 2 kids now. Does he have 2 kids?
I'm not
Sounds
sure.
about sound.
I was,
yeah.
I was so surprised when he signed with New Jersey. It's like, come on.
Yeah, I think that was his. That was his ego. Right there.
That was his. Like, I'm gonna get back at the Hawks for this.
Yeah, I think it was his ego, and then his wife is like, "I'm not moving to fucking New Jersey."
Yeah,
gonna live in near Trenton. No, thank you.
Yeah, she's like, "I'm not moving to New Jersey. There's no way." All right, so that's what we got going on. What's the next series for the Hawks, guys?
Let me check here. We got.
Hopefully, it's Columbus or Detroit.
Columbus. We got Columbus, and then two against Columbus, 2 against Detroit, and then 2 against Nashville.
That might turn into a bloodbath.
This could be very good for the Hawks and give them, confidence.
It could.
But we need these teams above us to keep beating up on Dallas and so
Nashville.
on. Yeah, Nashville. They're not losing. That Soros really turned his game around.
He's turning around. Nashville's kind of like the dark horse right now. I feel like
Yeah.
I can't stand them.
But you know what, though? The Hawks have an opportunity. Yeah, maybe they're going through a little bit of a funk right now, but they have an opportunity to go through this funk, get out of it, and head to the end of the season strong. Because in seasons past, they had been really strong at the beginning and then tapered down towards the end of the season, and then they limped into the playoffs, then got blown out. I like for them, they're facing some adversity right now, to go through this now, hopefully get out of it, and head towards the end of the season into the playoffs strong and confident.
Yeah, I think you're right, Mike. Like the only other thing I would say is if you get to the point, if Bowman makes the decision that this isn't our year, we're selling and we're done, we're just going to go from here on out, then you better, those guys on the taxi squad that you want to get a look at, like Ian Mitchell and some of those other guys that are right on the bubble between AHL and NHL.
Yeah.
Play them, see what you have. Now, granted, I know it's tough because the NHL is a lot faster than the AHL, but like, see what you got, right?
Yeah.
Because if you can get an idea of, maybe this guy's not cut out for us, but his stock is still high, then move him. You know what I mean? That's what I would do, but that's just me.
Yeah. Next thing you know is you start putting these guys in and they start winning games again.
Yeah. Don't get why they're doing that.
All right, moving forward, we're going to go into our sin bin with Matt. Matt, what do you got for us, man?
Well, I got to congratulate my buddy over here. His team, 10 games in a row, Jack Campbell. What do you think about that?
Oh, man. Anderson's a free agent next year. I don't know. Can't you give Campbell a shot, or is it just is he was it Andrew Hammond of 2021? I don't know. So
well, they're up against the cap too. You said, right?
Yes, they are. They have 1.7 million to spend for the rest of the year.
Yeah,
that's it.
They got their balls in a vice right now.
Yes, they do. Yes,
he
they
might
do.
be their guy, just to get.
Might have to be.
Yeah,
might not have a choice.
Playing good. I saw the game yesterday. He looked good. He was pumped, and they call him Ned Flanders. I don't know if you know.
Oh,
that.
really?
Yes.
He's so like polite and just a nice dude.
It's nice to see.
Yeah. And I got, let's see.
Has anybody beaten up on the Flyers within the last 4 or 5 days since the last time we talked?
I think they lost tonight, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure they lost.
Oh,
they are, according to their last 10, they are 3-4-3, and they're 6 points out of a playoff spot. So,
yeah, they're done.
Yeah, they're done.
Well, you guys know that Eric Stahl was traded to Montreal. He scored a game winner, so that was pretty good for him. And frickin' McDavid and Draisaitl just keep tearing it up. He had 4 points yesterday. Draisaitl did, and remember, Mike, we were talking about who would you rather have, Marner or Draisaitl or Matthews or Draisaitl, and I said Draisaitl, but I do like Austin Matthews as a goal scorer, but I think this guy's more of a complete player.
100%.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What about Marner? What about Marner or Matthews?
I think Marner.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to clear that up. Because I was like, maybe, I thought maybe you said Matthews, but
no. I like Matthews, but he's kind of just a goal scorer. This Marner, he can dangle, he could pass,
create,
and he's not even that big of a guy either. He's like real slim.
He's like Patrick Kane, man.
I think Kane's got more beef on him than Marner too. It's
at 185, 5'10", 185.
Yeah, soaking wet.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys heard, Taylor Hall is actually rumored to be traded to the Leafs.
No,
really?
I
heard this all day on NHL Network that they want to go for it. But like you said, how does that happen? Do they have to give up a bigger contract or Buffalo's got to take on his salary?
Buffalo
over
retains,
with zero.
Yeah. To be honest, I mean, the Stahl trade's working out for Montreal, but I feel like Buffalo is like the Chernobyl meltdown, and it's like anything that came into contact with Buffalo, do not touch. It's gonna, no, thank you. I don't want anything to do with anybody from Buffalo. But that's just me. I could be wrong. So,
well, you have something to blame when things go down, when the ship goes down.
Taylor Hall.
Hall is the iceberg.
He brought all that crap from Buffalo.
That'd be a pretty solid first line, though, if you think
it would. It would. Now, if you could guarantee me Taylor Hall from when he was in New Jersey, I would. Where do I sign? But if it's,
Taylor Hall from
Toronto
Edmonton or Arizona.
Edmonton. I heard Edmonton too, that they want him back as well.
Really?
Wow.
Well, look at it. They only have Draisaitl and McDavid scoring. They need somebody to. I think what was James Neal was like Nugent Hopkins. Or is James Neal still on the team, or did they lose or waive him? Because I remember a couple years ago he was pretty good for the Oilers, and I know he was really good on Vegas their first year.
He was good on
couldn't believe
too.
that they let him go.
I think he had 40 goals on Nashville.
Looks like he's still currently with the Oilers.
Huh.
I don't like him.
He's only played 17 games this season though, so he might have been. He hasn't played a lot, so. Yeah, he either was hurt or he's been scratched a ton. One of the two.
They need a goalie.
He tried to give a knee. I forgot who it was. It might have been the Rat from Boston. I think he was down. He was getting back up, and Neal came around and kneed him right in the head as he was skating. It was dirty as hell. Ever since then, I hated him.
Oof.
He started with Dallas.
Yeah, I think he scored 30 or 40 with Dallas.
Yeah,
I think I had him on my fantasy hockey team because he popped up out of nowhere.
Well, he went to Pittsburgh, I think, for a while.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
for a
that's
run.
right.
Poor guy's been all over the place.
Yeah, it's because he's an asshole. That's why.
Scorer. Yeah.
I remember he scored against the Hawks one day. Ever since that day, I hated him.
You got too much hate, boy.
I do. I do. There's 30 teams for me to hate. I got enough for all of them.
You got another team next year to hate too.
Yeah, I do. I got an extra team next year, the Kraken. You freaking kidding me? Is that the best that they can come up with in Seattle? That's brutal, man. I think
Seattle,
like their
grunge
football team, they have like these pretty cool colors, but that's about all that they have, like what else is there to do in Seattle except drink
Grunge
coffee and kill yourself?
Starbucks. Yeah.
Anyways,
It's pretty depressing there, yeah.
It is. It is. So, you got anything else for us, man?
No. How about you guys?
No, I mean, I've been digging like I said, I've been digging through that Cap Friendly site. It's really cool how they tell you how, people that are still on the books for certain teams. I know I was telling you guys earlier, a little fun fact with the Leafs. Apparently they are still paying Phil Kessel $1.2 million this year and next year not to play for them because they were in such a bad cap hell there for a while. So that is interesting considering he's been on 2 other teams since he left Toronto.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm just excited to see where the season goes. I always get super excited around trade deadline because it's always cool to see new guys coming around.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see what happens. I just, it's an interesting time to be a Hawks fan. That's for sure.
Yeah,
hey,
no kidding.
we forgot to talk about the Islanders.
What about them?
They made a big splash, I guess you could say, yesterday.
If it would have been 7 years ago, I would call it a big splash.
Rick DiPietro signed 31 years. No, they got Palmieri and Travis Zajac. Those are former guys from Lou, right?
The Devils, right?
Yeah. And I think they're going for it. I feel bad for their captain who went down, Lee.
Mm-hmm.
He's a pretty solid guy, but everything's kind of clicking with those guys. They got a good coach, good goalie, and now they got some scoring depths. And I like that Barzal, and I'm glad. I know you. I don't know if you like Tavares, but I think the Islanders fans.
Oh, they hate his guts
because they're better off without him.
Yeah,
yes, I would love to see Islanders Maple Leafs. That would be obviously you're not going to see it in the first. Yeah, showdown. You're not going to see it in the first round this year. But I saw a picture on Twitter. I think it was Kyle Palmieri's wife tweeted. It was like something about I guess Lou Lamoriello has instituted the no facial hair on the Islanders team or whatever. So he had to shave his huge beard or whatever. But I mean the Islanders have always been one of those teams. I don't think I'd say I'm a fan like I am with the Leafs, but I kind of always watch them from afar. And like Matt said, they have a great coach. Barry Trotz is awesome. He's one of the few coaches I actually follow. Anders Lee is great, even though he's been hurt. And it's been cool to see, like, you have a huge superstar like Tavares leave and the team gets better. Like, that's pretty cool in my book, So,
yeah, that was a douche move by him to.
Yeah.
I would have said, hey, I'm not coming back. Yeah, for sure.
Just be honest.
Like, hey, man, get rid of me at the deadline because get something.
Get something for me. Right.
That's why I felt bad for those guys. And when I remember his first game back, oh man, I watched it. It was awesome. The fans were just
he put seats in the stand. He sold jerseys. What does he owe the Islanders?
Oh, I mean,
nothing.
I guess, but why would you go to the Leafs then? They haven't done anything.
Because he's from Toronto, isn't he?
Oh,
I know.
So
I think so.
He went for the freaking $13 million a year and he disappeared.
But didn't the Islanders offer him something similar though?
I heard more.
Yeah,
I think he had his mind made up.
Yeah.
Before the trade deadline, that's fine. Like Mike said, you don't owe them anything, but just say, hey, I'm not signing. Do what you got to do. I get it. It's a business. Move on. And just, you know what I mean? Like that. But I guess he kind of strung him along. I don't know.
Unless there was some kind of fractured relationship with the organization. Maybe there's something behind the scenes.
Those guys are all gone. Those guys are gone now.
Yeah. And so is Tavares.
Yeah.
Well, Garth Snow is a moron.
He's
the worst GM I've ever seen.
Even worse than Mike Milbury?
I'm not a big Bowman fan either. I'm with Dale Talon.
Yeah.
Just with the Hawks.
Well, I
But-
know even for a while, a lot of the players were upset with the Islanders organization because they had to play in Brooklyn and then they were playing other games elsewhere. I mean, now I think they've got that all under control. I think they're renovating Nassau, right? So I think they're going to be back playing there. Or no, I'm sorry. They're playing there now, but they're building a new stadium for them on Long Island, I think.
Okay.
So I think things have gotten better. But yeah, it seems like that organization's really turned around. It's cool to see. Now, if only they would bring the fish sticks logo back, the fisherman logo, I'd be all set. I would buy those.
Yeah.
I would buy one tomorrow if they brought those back.
What is
So.
it? It's, what's that movie? I Know What You Did Last Summer. Jerseys.
Yeah, with the sticker.
The Gorton's fisherman, right? Is that what it is? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Matt could wear his Hartford hat.
there you go.
I love the Whaler logo. It's
I know.
great.
Yeah, I know.
You know how long it took me to realize there was an H in that logo and a W?
Yeah, I for a long time I didn't know there was one in there either.
Never noticed that. But
Great.
yeah.
Creative.
They're ahead of their time, man, with that marketing. I'm
They were.
surprised with hockey and how popular it is that Hartford hasn't gotten another organization.
They had
I wonder,
the wolf or what,
they
the
had the
whale.
Wolfpack, right?
Weren't they called the whale at the time?
Yeah, the Connecticut whale, right?
Connecticut whale. Yeah, they tried.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I don't know if just if the city's too small, I don't know if maybe the market's too congested because I mean you got New York, New Jersey, you got Boston right there.
Yeah.
I mean now 20 years ago would it have been easier probably because you still have fans, but I would imagine you have a lot of kids nowadays that have no recollection of that like we do.
Right.
And they grew up Boston fans or that, you know what I mean? Whoever was nearest and had TV rights in their area. But yeah, that would be awesome to see not the Islanders, see the Whalers come back. I'd love that uniform, jersey, logo, sweater, whatever you want to call it. So
there's a couple cities that are like that. Like you don't get like, why is there a team in middle Florida? Like, where's it? Sunrise, Florida? Come on.
Yeah.
And then Atlanta twice.
that was a disaster from the
tricked
get-go.
up once and then you do it again.
Yeah.
And then Phoenix, sorry, it's not working there.
It never has.
I mean, why
No.
doesn't Wisconsin have a team? You know, high school hockey in Wisconsin is
The
huge.
Badgers. Look at the Badgers. I mean, the women's team and the men's team. So
The Midwest is their hockey players.
yeah.
The desert, come on, man.
yeah.
That's them just trying to
They want
expand
ice in their drinks.
Extend the fan base a little bit.
Yeah.
But
I would love a team.
you would think that
Even
Quebec
Milwaukee.
Quebec would
Yeah.
have a team, you know.
They've
Yeah.
been rumored every time.
I would
every
love to
couple
see
years
that.
it always comes rolling back.
I
Quebec
even
is getting
think
a
that
team.
they even came up with an independent plan to build their own stadium,
They did. Yeah.
and they
They had
still,
it all set up.
and they
right?
still didn't get an organization, which is crazy.
Nope. Yeah. And I would imagine after Seattle comes in, you're not going to see any expansion for a long time.
Yeah.
Just because, 32 teams is a lot. I mean, relocation, maybe. I don't know. I mean, Arizona is such a mess just because they they built the stadium was it Glendale? So the
Glendale.
traffic was horrible and the highway system out there is not the greatest from what I've heard.
Mhm.
But that team has been on its last legs for how long? And I mean, even when they're good, the fans show up. That's awesome. But I don't know. It's bad when
Go ahead. Sorry, man. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, I remember one night I think this is probably like 7-8 years ago when they were talking about moving again. I remember watching, this is how big of a nerd I am, watching their it was like the Glendale Board of Commerce was having like an emergency meeting on whether or not to vote to expand the promenade or whatever. And they had Phoenix Coyote fans standing up like, don't take our team. And I'm like, no, not enough people care about your team. Yeah, all three of them. It was a packed house. No, not really. But
Shane Doan, one of them.
Yeah, he probably was. That was probably his
Excluding
wife and his
ex-players.
kid.
Yeah. So I don't know.
feel bad for that guy.
Could you imagine if that Arizona relocates to Quebec? So they're originally the Jets. They turn into the Coyotes, and then they become the Nordiques.
Yeah. That'd be incredible.
All right.
Only in the
Hamilton?
NHL.
Hamilton, a big town in Canada.
They
Weren't they
were
called the
rumored
Hamilton?
for a while, right?
Yeah, I've heard
Bulldogs.
that too.
Hamilton
Yeah.
Bulldogs. Yeah.
You know what though? I would like to see the Leafs come back to the Central. I think that would be awesome, like the old school Norris division.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, the Jets don't do it for me. They're boring to watch.
Yeah.
I
Me
like
either.
the original six rivalry. Even Detroit. I mean, that sucks when they win East. We don't have like a rival, and Vancouver's not a rival anymore.
No, it's
soon
just
as-
St. Louis.
As
That's
soon
it. And
as
they're not
Lou
even.
was traded and Kessler was dealt, That rivalry died.
They're just another team now. Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
in a way, I mean, Detroit, they don't really have a good team, so they're not. It's not like
No.
we're fighting for a playoff spot, and
Yeah.
there's 2 points left, and one of these teams has to get them. The Hawks took it last year. Now they need them this year, and Detroit's up. What's going to happen? There's no storylines.
Yeah.
St. Louis was good for a while there was always bad blood, with
Right.
Taves and Petrangelo and, what was Barrett Jackman,
Backus.
that guy.
Barry
pissed
Jackman.
off.
Yeah.
He was
Oh God.
he was a mother, man. He would
Yeah.
be all over Kane. Kane would get up and score a goal and just say, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But who was it? The captain. Backus.
David
Backus.
Remember that
Backus.
hit? Yeah, it was
Yeah.
that
Wakey
Seabrook.
wakey.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. That was good hockey.
Yeah. He had some
Bad
serious injury issues, didn't he?
Yeah, because I think he eventually went to Boston, right?
He
And
went
then
to
I think
Boston,
he kind of
and then
that
he
was the
went
end,
to I forgot who he went to after that. He went to one other organization after that.
Okay.
I don't
No,
remember who, because he just popped up, I think, last year, and that was it.
I thought they sent him down because they couldn't even get rid of him.
He went to the Ducks.
Right.
He went to the Ducks,
Right.
Okay.
but I don't think he's playing at the
Players
moment. He
go
might
to
be.
die.
Yeah. You got poor John Gibson, right? Yeah.
Poor guy.
Oh, man.
So
Well, do you guys got anything else?
no, just fasten your seatbelt. This last couple,
Hey,
months
these
and
are
a half.
must wins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need the 2-2. We need them.
Well, hopefully the Hawks can surprise people in a good way. And I'll take good draft picks or wins.
Yeah, either or.
So that way I know I come out on top.
Buffalo's pick.
I feel like it's really going to be win-win, right? Is doom and gloom as I kind of feel like I've been. It's win-win. If they keep winning, they make that 4th spot. They get another playoff spot. If they don't win, then they trade for picks and prospects, and then they start to reload for the future. And that's cool too. Like I'm cool with that too. Like
Right.
it is what it is. I mean, I can't say I get too disappointed because it's like we saw 3 cups, and I never thought I'd see one in my life. So
Yeah.
now, talk to me again in 10 years, I might feel a little bit differently, but for right now, that's how I feel. So
Okay.
We need defense too.
Yes.
I'm sick of these European forwards. We need some mean Canadian defensemen
Some
that play defense.
some Nucks, some Badgers that they need to pull out from the.
Or American.
Yeah, that's
or-
fine.
some was that truculence? What's his name?
Our Russian is
Burke used
good.
to say.
I know Mike's not a fan, but at least his sound clips were good.
Who?
Zadorov.
Yeah. Oh, that's yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he had
I
some good
feel
sound
you,
clips.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah.
That was,
yeah.
it was
I think I'll put the link for that in the comments so everybody else can hear Zadorov mic'd up. But it was pretty funny. He actually speaks pretty decent English for being Russian.
Yeah, he does.
All right, everybody, that's all that we got for you tonight. Thanks for watching. Take it easy. Let us know what you think about the games in the comments, and we'll see you after the next series. This is Mike, Justin, and Matt. We're out.